Airborne Express case. The increasingly global express mail industry faced a series of large changes in recent years. First, due to pricing competition, firms saw rising shipment volumes of more perishable and valuable goods as their business partners started taking advantage of lower prices to compete on the basis of shipping time. This led firms to shift to a distance-based pricing in response to declining marginal revenues. Smaller firms had to differentiate themselves or take a low-cost position in order to survive. Finally, the industry had to adapt to the advent of email and fax as a substitute products and the new capabilities that the internet provided. As large firms started to provide higher levels of customer service with services such as real-time tracking, smaller firms have felt pressure to adapt.
Airborne derived from two specialist cargo carriers who merged, and since then continue to be one of the most successful general air freight forwarders from that point onward. One of the attributes of their success was their focus on a select group of customers. The company targeted businesses who shipped a large volume of urgent items and passed over residential customers and infrequent shippers. Another advantage was Airborne's operational efficiency, which stemmed from their business activities. They owned their own airport, utilized independent contractors, had no retail centers to maintain, and used truck delivery in metropolitan cities to save on costs. Airborne did not try to break into international shipping like their competitors, and also limited their marketing scope to advertise mainly to logistic managers of large shippers. The overall company culture focused on frugality, where Airborne maintained a reputation in the industry as a low-cost provider, which was attractive to customers and gave them a competitive advantage over their industry counterparts.
Comparing the cost of shipping an overnight letter, Airborne charges $10.95, which is $2.91 lower than FedEx. Their ability to charge lower prices stems from a few factors. First, they own their own airport, which avoids landing fees. Second, they primarily use second-hand aircraft. And third, they utilize their aircraft at 80% capacity versus 65 to 70% for their competitors. 80 to 85 of their shipping volume comes from the top 50 metropolitan areas versus 60% for FedEx. They selectively use technology, and they don't use mass media marketing. Instead, they focus on targeting logistics managers of major shippers via a small sales force. This slide analyzes the estimated cost structure of FedEx and where Airborne has a relative cost advantage based on the previously stated factors.
In order to strengthen the company's position, Airborne should reevaluate their pricing scheme, use distance-based pricing to increase profit margins, and incentivize large national companies to use Airborne services. They should increase their website service options and decrease the need for customer support and make it easier for large corporations to manage their shipping accounts. Additionally, they should increase their advertising expenditure. Business customers can't use their service if they don't know it exists.
Early on, Airborne made a few key decisions that helped separate them from the larger companies. While FedEx and UPS moved into distance-based pricing and focused on global expansion, Airborne set their sights on a very specific segment of the market: businesses that ship frequently, ship large amounts, and ship with urgency. By doing this, Airborne was able to cut down operation costs. Delivery costs were significantly lower since drivers didn't need to make as many stops. Drivers also picked up more parcels per stop, increasing their utilization without incurring extra costs. Another key decision was Airborne's use of independent contractors for their deliveries. Contractors delivered 65% of the parcels and were 10% less expensive than if Airborne delivered themselves. By making many of these strategic moves early, Airborne enjoys two key advantages that cannot be replicated: history and established business relationships. While FedEx and UPS can try and focus on the same market segment, it is not in their best interest to change their business structure. Using Airborne's business strategy has no added value for the companies and may incur more costs than benefits.
Airborne's strategy is twofold. It is centered around frugality and selectivity. To keep their costs as low as possible, Airborne operates at optimal or near optimal capacity, invests in land and infrastructure, adopts technology only when proven beneficial in the market, and spends little to no money on advertising. Airborne operates with the understanding that they cannot be everything to everybody, so instead of offering services that may appeal to a wide variety of customers, they play to their operational strengths and focus their services on the particular target market that consist of businesses who frequently ship large volumes of urgent items. Each part of the strategy is simultaneously supports and is supported by the other, which promotes consistency in strategic objectives, tactics, and decision-making. Overall, at this point, Airborne's approach has proven to be quite beneficial in terms of both their profitability and their strategic positioning within the air freight industry. Without changing their core strategies, there are a few changes that may be worth Airborne's consideration to reach a new level of competitive advantage in the future, such as converting to a distance-based pricing scheme, increasing online and self-service options, and making a point to advertise their brand, their services, and any changes they choose to implement.